everyone, welcome to your December 2022 reading. I cannot believe that it is the end of the year already. And what way to end the year than with a bang, right? Right? So a lot has happened this year, and I'm really excited to see what the guides have for us, what the energies. Yeah, there it is. Goodbye, bye. See you later. Light. Light. If you've been following my channel, we're just going to jump right in because you guys know how we do. If you've been following my channel, you will remember that the guides said that, I said that the guides had said that, and they said this, maybe weeks ago, over a month ago, if not 2 months ago. Anyway, they said that there would be a whole bunch of light hitting the planet in December and even more so in January. And so it's it's definitely the time when a lot of people are going to be needing support. And here we are. I remember thinking, what's going on? Is there something happening cosmically, astrologically? Like, what's happening? And again, it kind of doesn't matter because it's happened. I do see two pathways that are being emblazoned here. Suffering and silence. Yeah, okay. Everybody, right? Welcome to Earth. So the guides are saying, no matter where you find yourself on this fulcrum, love that word, it's been a success. They're like, it's been a blatant success. And they're so kind enough to say that because, a lot of us were going through stuff. And look at this. I'm bringing this card in because it's carrying the 19, and I'm seeing that 19 as well. So this card says an invitation to connect. Spirit is saying you're already connected. Everybody is already connected. We see here that the energies that are at play right now during December is they're giving a play on words, in the wake of all of this light. Wake meaning, in tow, coming after all this light has already hit. And also it means like in terms of a wake, a gathering that you have after someone has passed, right? Because, Scorpio season, death's all around, but rebirths, death, rebirth, 10 of Swords, with some bumps along the road. There's the 10, there's the sword, right? So what they're trying to say is, in the wake of all of this that has happened, there are some energy dynamics that are at play. Finding balance once again after taking a definitive stance, right? So you guys may be looking around and seeing a lot of stances being taken, a lot of decisions being made, this and that, a lot of action-oriented energies going on. But remember, all of these things that you see going on in the physical have come about only because decisions have been made in the non-physical. And so you see, if you found yourself kind of in between two worlds still, hemming and hawing, that is indicative of a decision needing to be made on some level in your field. Now, what that decision is really, is really dependent, detail-wise, is really dependent upon you. For some of you, that decision may be needing to take place in your financial life. For some, it's in your interrelationships. For some, it could be in your career, it could be in your religious life, whatever it is. But it all boils down to whether or not you're ready to step into some form of sorry, I was going to say something and they want to say something else. It's funny because as I'm saying this, a few words came in. One was greater clarity, another was greater awakening, and at the same time, it's almost like a post-nasal drip. I'm seeing energies, even for, like in terms of me, from 2020, just kind of dripping down before my eyes. So a lot of us are releasing. Well, we're all releasing right now, but long story short, there are just so many energies that are going on. But at the end of the day, there's still decisions to be made. I see a lot of you are being impacted in your financial life. I'm being told to tell you, do not worry about that, because it's like the train has left the station. We're hopping on to different timelines. And so when you look in your bank account and when you look at your resources in the physical, please do not, more than any time this year probably, please do not be fooled by what you see, because anything in the physical that you can see and taste and all of that, it's like meat. It's dead. It's no longer alive, but here it is on your plate, because they're the manifestations of a past present moment. Creation does not take place in the past or the future. It takes place only in the present. But what a lot of human beings fail to realize is that the present is not in the physical realm. It is in the non-physical. So if you're looking at something right now, whether it's your health, whether it's the state of a relationship you have with somebody, whether it is your money in the bank, that is not the reality that is in the moment, because you cannot see the reality of what is, because it's in the non-physical. Okay, just remember that. That'll do you a lot of good. And that's why it's important when you're manifesting, when you're speaking your intentions out into the world, to close your eyes. Shut it down. Close your eyes, close your ears. Do not listen, do not acknowledge, do not look at, do not think the thoughts you think. Don't do that, because these are all reflecting the past. Your past present moment was filled with a poverty consciousness that manifested into you just having no money or having not much going on in certain places in your life. But if you're really trying to change that, stop looking at it, because you're looking at something that's dead. It's gone. It's a manifested moment. It's over. And so if you're wasting time in a space where you cannot create because it just doesn't work that way, then you're just breaking your own heart. And that's one of the things Spirit wants to remind us. The power is in the present is the exact same thing as saying the power is in the non-physical. Okay? And I just, that's all I want to say about that. And so what we're seeing come to pass now in the physical is because of some past present moment. So please, if you're trying to tweak things that you'd like to have come in, if you're trying to manifest, if you're trying to quote unquote ask Spirit, then the best thing you can do is close your eyes, close your ears, stop listening to what you think is, so your friend's coming, they're trying to tell you something. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to ask you to be quiet, because you're still looking at my past. If you're looking at my bank account, if you're looking at my health, if you're looking, I just right now, I can't talk about that right now, because right now I'm in manifestation phase. And that's why when people are really, remember back in the day when none of us was alive, but we hear about it, when people were really going through initiations, when they were really going through something big in their life spiritually, what did they always do? They always went into seclusion. They went into silence. They fasted. They detoxed. They did these things because they understood on some level that you can't really focus in the non-physical, in the present moment, if you keep opening your eyes and acknowledging what has already come to pass and it's on your plate. That is a capital distraction right there. So if you want to continue to be distracted by what you see in your physical, go right ahead, but please know that you're just shooting yourself in the foot when it comes to actual manifestations. So I would like you to know that this has been a very instrumental time. They're saying all hands are on deck. All hands on deck. This is not a drill. To all of you out here who are in service to others and being asked to be of assistance, this is not a drill. You have been fully trained. Please do not fall by the wayside. Do not give in to any naysaying. We just need you right now to be on it. Look, here's the 8 and the 1. There's the 9, right? We need you to be at your station so that you can be of assistance. Here it is. I see this person moving, and then they come back to receive something, retrieve something, to get something. Could be as simple as a backpack, right? But whatever it is, you're going to have all that you need, and now is just the time to get through it. All right? Who else to call but spirit? Yeah, your team. No one's getting dropped from contracts right now. And I mean, I'm not spiritual contracts. I mean, maybe somebody here lost a job and I'm so sorry, right? But this is not what I mean. I mean, right now, spirit is calling you into service. It's not about being benched or being told you can't be of service or that you shouldn't. Just all you need to do is cut out all of the other voices that you're hearing, all of these things, recommit to connecting and feeling and being led by the divine, and spirit will find something for you to do. If spirit can just find somebody to pick up and go volunteer at a soup kitchen in the physical in a weekend, you don't think that if you have some soul contract for spiritual service that spirit won't be like, hey, you you're in here, get in here. You don't think they're gonna be putting you to work? Yeah, so it's time to get to work. And one of the greatest things that, thank you, Spirit, one of the greatest things that we can do for ourselves at this time is to have confidence. Have confidence, right? And I know that's something that's a message for me as well, right? Maybe you can call it my Chiron and Taurus low self-worth ideas, all the ideations and all of that stuff. But either way, whatever it is, we all have to take a moment. Yeah, there it is. Also abandonment, rejection, these things are coming up, right? These are all of our stuff. I mean, we just got out of Scorpio season. I mean, can we give ourselves a break? Throat chakra, yeah, expression, passion being ignited. So whatever it is that's going on, love begins. It's so funny because I saw my hands are covering it. Spirit doesn't mince movements when I'm here, and I noticed I was covering some of these words because it's almost like a part of me didn't believe it. It didn't believe that passion is coming through. It doesn't believe that love begins, balance. And in fact, when I was placing this, I heard love abounds. Like, it's almost like I thought it would say love abounds, but it says love begins. But the guides also said love binds. Okay, remember, this is a time to be at your stations. It's a time to be connected, right, in many ways. So love binds. Right now we're looking to give and receive. We're looking to connect with those who can offer us something, and to connect with those who we can offer something to. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm seeing here also this idea of sacrifice. A Course in Miracles teaches that there is no such thing as sacrifice because it's not a loving thing. It's not real. There are certain things that we believe to be real that are just not real. Number one, fear is one of them. Sacrifice is another one, right? With spirit and in reality, there is no such thing as sacrifice. Spirit is saying if you're seeing sacrifice, you're not seeing clearly. And there's a saying, I hope I'm not going to butcher it, but I might, where they say, okay, I'm going to butcher it, sorry, but I'm just going to give you the gist. Something like, if it still hurts, it's not the end, right? If you're still feeling a lack of closure, it's not the end of whatever lesson it is. It may be the end of you and a certain person, regardless of what the relationship is, but it's never really the person we're missing. It's what the person reflected back to us about ourselves. They could also be reflecting some fears that you have. But Spirit is saying either way, at this time, this is not the time to be really caught up in all of that. It's time to get moving. They're saying feel friendly with yourself. This is a hermity time, of course, but it's interesting. It's a hermity time in the sense that you're being asked to be a hermit, to look at yourself, but you're being asked to, above all, value groundedness. So yes, look at yourself, confront what's going on inside, but a lot of people aren't able to do that in a way that's healthy. Instead, it turns into self-blame, shaming, maybe even regrets, grief, things like that. And so before you know it, your 18, which reduces to 9, is now out of alignment, right? So see, remember, we're running with this 9, this completion energy on the verge. And in fact, here's the 9 right here. Well deserved reward. It's like stay the course. And then right here off to the side, we've got these 2 cards. Oops. Literally 6 and 4, 10, right? So we're moving from 9 into 10. Look at the 8 card right there, and then the 7 right there. Positive movement forward. Foundation and achievement right on that third eye. So a lot of you, another message is coming through for the month of December. Spirit is asking you, here's the other crown chakra. Here's the crown chakra here. Spirit is asking you to start to acknowledge where you have made headway, right? Wow, so many cards want to come through. Oh my gosh. Here's the new beginning. There's another 9, right? Here we have prosperity, material and spiritual prosperity. There's fear here. We need to like sandwich out the fear, right? But it's a little bit understandable, because look at the double heartache and loss, emotional loss. So there's a lot of grief going on right now, not only collectively speaking, but individually speaking, right? There are just things that we're going through as a collective, but there are also fears that we're going through internally on the individual, in our individual lanes. But either way, you see how now we have all this fear and heartbreak and loss, and here on the same, and confronting our stuff, and on the same, and feeling alone on the same table, where we have the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, foundation and achievements, balance, positive movement forward. We've got double prosperity here. It's like a mashup, right? There are so many things going on in the month of December. Why? Because we came in with so many things going on. But this is where your spiritual mastery has to come in. And even if your spiritual mastery is faltering at this time, it's important to kick up your decision making. I decide to have a better outlook on things. I may not see it in the physical, and why would I? Because the physical is the last thing to happen here, right? But if I can just go the distance a little bit longer and keep my eyes on the prize, just like her, boop, boop. And actually the energies are coming in super quickly right now. Super quickly. Look, I just split the deck, and look, sadness and isolation. A lot of you are going through things on your own. Right there next to spiritual strength. Remembering you're not alone, helpless and hopeless. You see this movement back and forth. And this is understandable, again, because there has been a lot of loss, challenging times going on. Feeling definitely like you're alone. But remember, when you get to this point, this is also a moment for greatness. It's like, oh, I find myself alone now. I'm feeling lonely. No one is here. Can I do this? All of these thoughts. It's a call to rebuild. And notice how she's so cute here. She's very physical, but she's rebuilding in the non-physical. You see her etheric wings? So learning to rebuild means learning to mourn that which has been lost, and understanding that just because something falls by the wayside doesn't mean anything about you. It doesn't even necessarily mean anything about that thing. If you really need something to take you through the night, remember, it just means that whatever you have going on energetically, in terms of your structures and your templates within your energetic field, there's no longer energetic support for those things. And so as these things break down and transmute and turn into something new, then so breaks down all of the physical manifestations, the people, places, things, situations, and ideas that were built upon those energetic structures. Now, during a time of transition, being able to draw upon your personal power is one of the biggest flexes you could ever do. Now, that's not even a flex. Look at this person literally flexing with his higher self. It's not even a flex for other people to see. It's a flex for you. And it's that flex that you realize, oh my God, I'm pretty strong. I'm pretty strong. I lost this person, I lost that account, I lost this opinion from someone else, you could rack up all of that, and you could look around at yourself and see yourself alone, and then you're like, holy crap, I'm pretty freaking good. I'm good. I'm better off than I was before. And once you start to open yourself up to seeing things in a different way, you can go a step further and bring your compassion in. Compassion for who? You. Like, oh my gosh, here I am. I'm feeling alone. Well, and here's the compassionate voice. I don't blame myself for feeling alone. Look what happened. I trusted, and look what happened. I tried something new, and look what happened. I went out of my way, and look what happened. I put my heart on my sleeve, and look what happened. Of course this is going to feel painful. Why would I expect it not to be? What do I need right now? This is learning to talk to yourself in kind ways, but it's also learning not only to be your own divine nurturer, but also learning to be your divine motivator. Like, okay, this is happening, take some time off, take the day off, but let's keep up some forward movement, even if it's just that we make dinner, even if it's just that we have a shower today, even if it's whatever it is. What are you guys doing out there? I don't know. But whatever it is, when you're in that moment, these are the thoughts that bring us through. People, like, for reals, if you're out there and you've had for reals trauma, like where you're on the floor in a fetal ball, you understand what I'm talking about, where it's sink or swim. It is not getting through the day. It's getting from second to second. If you've had mental illness, you understand it's getting from one thought to the next. If you have, been betrayed, dumped, cheated on, beaten up, all these things stolen from, you understand. All right, it's not about you. Like, you need to break it down millisecond to millisecond. It's trying to get. It's sometimes just wishing for sleep. Right, you're one step away from jumping off that building, and you have to find. Look at the dog. The dog's like, I feel you. I'm here to support you. Thank you, doggles. Right, and it's understanding. Hey, I can get through this because I've gotten through this before. Maybe you've lost people along the way, maybe they've left, maybe you've pushed them away, maybe whatever. But you know what? If you can get through it and be strong and realize, hey, I thought I needed this person in my life, and I realized I actually didn't. And when you can start to turn the tides and to see yourself with eyes of compassion, to no longer be the voice that pushes you down, no longer be the voice that, look at the card, he's like, hey, no longer be the voice that robs you of your dreams, that robs you of your confidence, no longer be the voice that reflects what other people have told you or conveyed to you or said about you or whatever it is. That's a significant improvement in your life. And that's a level of mastery that not a lot of people can do, in this life. It's all we need to do is get on YouTube and on any social media platform and see that a lot of people find it much easier to dish out than they can take, right? A lot of sensitivities going around, and people are trying to do the best that they can, but it's our job to step into ourselves and to realize that, what we see on TV, what we see on YouTube, what we see on Instagram, what we see on, what are people watching? Facebook, TikTok, all this stuff, most of it is just farcical. A lot of it is farcical. It's people popping up and telling you what to think, telling you what to buy, telling you their opinion. No one cares, no one asks. It's like, if we're not careful, we'll have the empathy that we were born with weeded right out of us as we slip into just believing what other people say because they are saying things and they're saying it without heart, right? Lots of op-eds out there, lots of opinions being given. And what did the guides say? Not even too long ago, I think it was last month. What did they say? Turn it off. turn it off. Don't be caught up in another person's like idea of things, because we might be surprised, but a lot of people who are espousing things and things that they see in the media and now they disagree with, or they saw it in a movie, or they heard on the news, or they saw someone's Twitter post or whatever, and then they take to the pulpits. We have to remember that we always need to vet the people that we listen to. Are these energies I would invite into my house if they were embodied in a person? Are these like what are these people bringing into my life? Is it just something to entertain me for a second and now I'm just all in that camp? Or is it like something of value that I could feel good passing on to my children? Is this a connection I could feel safe in? So right now is a time to rest and reconsider. But as we rest and reconsider, we must consider who and what it is that we're letting into our lives, because you know what, we're not always going to be up and we're not always going to be down. And the people that are able to stay with you along those trajectories are what we need to gravitate towards. And this doesn't only go for personal relationships, it goes for also the companies that we do business with. It goes for the celebrities that we choose to follow. And also remembering that people are flawed. People are flawed. Everybody is flawed. So if you're looking for celebrities who are perfect, I just want you to just get out the game altogether. Don't even bother, because they're not. I'm not perfect. They're not perfect. Listen, you're not perfect. And so if you're in a place where you are, look at this rainbow, right? They're trying to be like, hey, we're all different, right? If you're in this place where you are shutting people down, shutting people out, you're quick to gut react, things like that, this is an invitation to look at self. Where is what we're receiving getting a little bit skewed here? Because I think we're all trying to do our best, yes, but we have to be a little bit careful that we still try to embody the virtues that Spirit really, hope is one of them, right? That Spirit still tries to instill, and we say that we try to instill in our children. Compassion. I've said it once, not to you guys, but to someone else. And I'll say it again. Our world is in a crisis of nurturing. It's in a crisis of compassion. There's a crisis going on. It's like we have a thought, we just say what we want. It's like this is not the way to go about things. But hope, compassion, grace, having grace for other people, giving people the grace, right? To make mistakes, and the bell's ringing at that, to make mistakes, to have second chances, things like that. Mercy is another one. Humility is another one. Patience. Everyone hates the P word. Patience, also known as divine timing. So hard, right? What are some other ones? Tolerance is another one. I know that's a word that a lot of people are like, but it's not really, we're just throwing it out there. Gentle energy, right? There's a reason why these things are considered virtues, because they are as timeless as the idea of doing unto others as you would have done unto yourself. Right? So December is definitely a time to reconsider a lot. It's not a time to really bust out and, with Mars doing its thing right now, communication being very much tinged by these aggressive energies that are in the air. All it takes is that aggression to meet the aggression, especially unspoken aggression that you may have, plus the lack of clarity and your own wounds, and we're just all over the place, right? And so it's important to, again, try to really bring as much balance as we can into what it is that we're doing. It's not easy. I understand that. Like we all miss the mark sometimes. We're all here. But at the end of the day, love, right? What does love mean? Love means what? What does it mean? that's something that we're all going to have to discover for ourselves. But either way, when we're making decisions and we're taking actions, or let's break it down even more, when you're taking actions, you're making a decision whether or not you felt that you did or not, you took an action, you took a course of action. That's a choice. And the best thing we can do is, in hindsight sometimes, right, we look back and we're like, okay, was that loving? Now, what needed to happen? Was it loving to myself? And if you're somebody who doesn't give yourself as much love, then of course you wanted to make sure that you're taking actions that are loving for yourself. And you always want to balance, was it loving for others? So if you're someone who is really self-oriented and you're not really thinking about other people, then you want to make sure that you balance that. So at the end of the day, when we're taking actions in life, in our businesses, in our friendships, in our family life, and even in with ourselves, we want to make sure that, you know, we're kind of doing the best that we can with how Buddha said, taking the middle road, being very mid on things, right? Not so up and down, left, right. And understandably, we're all working on these things, but it's very important, especially when we are, you know, when we're leading. And yeah, so this is December so far. Yeah. Yeah. And there are contracts to be had. Yes, we do have soul contracts. And, you know, to look at this, that's exactly what I'm going to say. To take action and to lead the way and to teach others sometimes, or to learn, or just whatever. But at the same time, how we do those things is really up to us, right? How we do those things is really up to us. Yeah. And sometimes it's about waiting to see how things play out, yeah? Oops. At the end of the day, though, it's as I say, well, we have two at the end of the days. There's at the end of the day in the sense of the end of your day. Maybe you could sleep at night, and that's fine, right? If you can sleep at night, then that's one thing, but just right. But at the end of the day, you know, spirit meaning your higher self, your soul, will be the one that you will be connecting with. And of course, you guys know the life review. It's one thing to be able to look at what actions you took, and you know how it felt, and blah blah blah. But the part of the life review that I'm personally not looking forward to, not at all, is where we look at how our actions impacted others. And you know, spirit is thorough. They're out here looking at how what you did at age 8 impacted this person for the rest of their life. And why do you think karma, where do you think karma, or the desire, your soul's desire to create balance, comes from? And it's when we do these life reviews and we're like, oh man, I could have handled that differently, right? There's the 5 of Wands. So anyway, December energies are, you know, it's really going to hit us in different ways. But at the end of the day, I think if you can stay the course, really focus on what it is that you're doing, what it is that you're receiving, really trying to maximize on your prosperity, this is going to be good for you. And again, part of maximizing on your prosperity means allowing yourself to express who you are and what you are doing, right? But as we see here with the, you know, see, here's the Emperor with the decision making, boop, right? That's the decision making. Doing what makes you feel good, what's going to bring you emotional fulfillment, and allowing those energies, because the energies are coming in to manifest right now. This is the time. But this fish, this Page of Cups. Remember, we want to always balance things out. It's not like we just came out with this major big card here. So making sure that what it is that we're calling in, that we're doing, is balanced. And that means also, and balance with what? Love, right? Love and kindness and all of that stuff. In fact, look at the 6 that I was pulling. Here's the soulmate card. Yeah? Yeah. Moving full speed ahead, magician energies. But one of the things that we want to do is to, they're saying not to cut the baby out with the bathwater. So here we have the Emperor really taking control as the masculine. It's the yang energies, the masculine, with the, what do you call this? The magician, and the full speed ahead chariot, right? But look at the low self-worth, the poverty consciousness. Here, just the way it all falls is like you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So whatever it is that you're trying to do, a tempered approach is going to be helpful. And that can be really tough because look who we have here, the King of Wands, who's like, throw all the wands at them, right? The King of Wands in his element with all of this Mars energy, Mars in retrograde, frustration, stress, but we want to not jump the gun, right? Yeah, here's this victory here with the 8 of Wands, which is great. Yeah, but definitely you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And it's up to all of you guys really to ultimately decide what the baby is. Is there a baby here at all? Is it just all bathwater? What are we talking about, right? It's really up to you. But either way, change has been ushered in. We have Knight of Cups. I'm seeing commitment to a passage now. Yeah, it's interesting the way this is seeing. So whatever you put in motion, you're just on that path now. And the stage has been set. And I'm just seeing like it's like doors are closed. So you're now rounding the corner to move into wherever it is that you need to move into, right? The best thing that you can do is now commit to your movement forward. So disconnecting from, as much as you can, disconnecting from any feelings, 8 of Swords feelings, sadness, grief, loss, obsessive thoughts, things like that. This is not by any means to say not to think of those things, not to have those thoughts, right? No, what it says instead is to learn how to focus on what is coming up for you as opposed to what has already left your place. And when we do that and we invite in spirit, there's always look at that 1 there's always that promise of balance to come and that promise of being well taken care of. Look at this archangel. It's like he's waiting for her to jump on his back, but she's so busy looking at this little hut here. But it's like, hey, we're about to go to the mansion. Why are you worried about this little hut with this little light on? So some of you may have had a breakup of some sort, right? Some of you may have, I don't want to say moved, but it's kind of giving me a move vibe. Maybe some of you have moved. Maybe you find yourself just in a new territory altogether and you're lonely or just whatever it is. And some of you, I'm seeing you had a stroke of, it was like a stroke of brilliance. I'm seeing the 8 of the accelerated movement here. I'm going to see if I can find a card. And now you're like, where did that go? Where did that inspiration go? Now here I am without it. See, right with the solitude. I was inspired for a moment there. I met myself. I had it. I had a one-to-one with me and it was great. And now here I am with this emotional loss, with this, I saw a star in the sky and now I don't see it anymore. I mean, did I make the wrong decision? What's going on? Again, at this point, it's kind of like just breathe. You've made your decisions, you've taken your actions, and now it's just about moving forward on the path that you've carved for yourself. And as my grandmother has said after she passed in spirit, and she told me, she was like, joy, there's joy around every corner. At the time I was like, okay, whatever, but but it's wisdom. Those are wise words. There's joy, wise words. Sorry guys, it's literally late. I've been up since like 4:45 this morning and I'm here trying to pump this out. But There's joy around every corner. In fact, off to the side, you guys can't see, but off to the side, these cards are just speaking. Heartache and loss, new beginning. Heartache and loss coinciding with a new beginning. Okay, so the words are stop questioning. Stop questioning. You move forward. It's like a game of chess. You made the move, right? When you make the move, you change the board. And, if you want to recapture things, reclaim things, rekindle things, whatever, you have to make different moves in order to get to that place again, right? But either way, this is now a time that you're on a path. Okay? December is where we're at. Now, I'm looking forward to January, but I'm also not. Just kidding. It's like, what? I need to see a full docket of what's going to be happening in January before. Is it better? Is it worse? What are we talking? Either way, healing is beginning right now. Now, during this time, a lot of you may actually have a glimpse of what's to come. Speaking of, right, a glimpse of what's to come. I'm seeing a little bit into 2023 right now, not gonna lie. Also, interestingly, 2027. Ooh, there's that 7 energy right there. I'm just seeing love affair for somebody in 2023. And I don't mean affair like, oh my God, he's married, she's married. I mean, hey, maybe if that's you, do you, but that's not what I'm seeing. It's like I'm seeing, I don't want to say this because I don't like it, but maybe someone has to hear it. It's not necessarily going to be a Tristan and Isolde kind of thing, but the word Tristan came to mind and that made me think of it. Then I also saw the word tryst, so it could have been that coming through as well. But there are a few of you that are on this call, so these energies are just hitting whoever they need to hit. But I'm seeing a new fascination. Somebody here is going to be fascinated with someone. For somebody here, if you're a biological female, is what I'm getting. You're vibing like a biological female. You are possibly going to be fascinated by a younger man. Who this? Okay. I'm like, too hot to handle. What am I saying? Oh my God. It's just like, I'm fascinated. Listen, don't fake the funk. Don't be out here, because I'm seeing you already, whoever you are. It could be more than one of you. You could be 32, actually, around the early 30s is what I'm getting, but you don't have to be, but it's, some of you are like, oh, I was hoping it was me. But it's kind of like you're gonna fake the funk a bit, like trying to lie to yourself. Don't lie to yourself, because you're not even lying to me on here. Saying something like, oh, I'm just really inspired by his art. I don't know if he's an artist or something creative. He's a creative. I'm just really inspired. I love the way he puts his music together. Don't come over here with that. You want the bod, okay? You're out there. Look at this sword just boing, right? You out there, right? And the quicker, this could be around March, by the way, it doesn't have to be, but I'm getting in March, April 2023. So listen, if you own it, we need you to get this together. We need you. We're living through you right now. We don't need you out here on the field lying. We need you to be honest about your feelings. So funny. But so I'm seeing that. Some of you are going to be getting your feet wet in terms of stepping into your spiritual stuff. So some of you, I'm seeing a sabbatical for some of you. I'm seeing you taking a nice lengthy time out. It could be as much as 7 months. Maybe it feels a little bit like a retreat kind of thing. Maybe you're taking yourself on a retreat. Maybe you're giving yourself the space you need. Whatever this is. Yeah, look, there's the 6 and 1, the 7 again. Yeah. So seeing a 7 off to the side that wanted to come in, the move card, right? So some of you may be doing that. I'm also seeing a museum connection for some of you coming up next year, and also into 2024 is a possibility for a museum connection. So maybe you're trying to do something artistic. Maybe you like to be a part of that scene in some way. But either way, what we're doing right now is we're allowing in more light into our life, and that's what's happening in December and January. But remember, as the guide said, the harder the light, or the brighter the light, the longer the shadows. So what's happening is it's illuminating your life right now. You're seeing what's working, what's not working. It's also illuminating your mindscape, and that mindscape illumination is going to be continuing into March, well into March 2023. I'm also seeing that around April, you're going to have a lot of heart illumination as well. So these energies that are coming in, they're coming in for a nice little long haul here, but they're incrementally showing you what you need to see. For some people, this is a 6-month process that you're going to be embarking on. For a lot of us, it's just taking time to unfold. I'm getting the name Philip or Philippe for somebody. I'm not sure why. Just keep that in mind. And somebody is looking to hire somebody new. Maybe that's that for a job or something. Maybe that is related. Doesn't have to be. This person feels like whoever this person is. I want all these readings. Feels like a little bit of a frenetic, live wire kind of Aquarian young man in his late 20s. This is somebody that vibes like a son of yours from another lifetime is what I'm getting. So just be mindful. Oh, I wonder if this is the same person who's going to be trying to be about a younger man. But anyway, just be mindful not to become too naggy and mommy like, respect the boundaries, respect the roles here. Okay? God is good. So Spirit is saying in the month of December, a lot is closing out. We're moving on. The best thing that you can do is to commit to your path. And they're saying to recommit to your path, because it feels like some of you have taken a step forward, felt bad about something, taken a step backward as a result. They're like, commit to your path. You've already done it. The line is drawn in the sand. Move forward. Right? And just keep going and see where it leads. This is the game of life. It's what happens, right? When we take action, especially when we take strong action. Yeah? It's interesting because look, here we had the detach card, then we had strengthening bonds, right? Sometimes when we detach, we're able to strengthen some bonds, including the bond with ourselves. Sometimes it's a good move, sometimes, right? It really just depends on what you're leaving behind. And sometimes we don't know. Waiting results is this card here. Sometimes we don't know if what we left behind was something we should have held on to, or if it's sometimes we see this all the time, especially in young relationships, where it's like, oh man, I thought I had to give up this relationship to have this job. I didn't. Now that I'm older and wiser, I realize I didn't have to. I could have had both. I just, who knows? But either way, it's time to commit in December. Also, it's time to see, and this is what this is all about. It's about the light coming in and showing us what we were not able to see. And sometimes when again, some believe and succeed, just keep going. But remember, sometimes when the light comes in at a certain angle, it's going to show us some things. But it doesn't mean everything's illuminated. Sometimes we're seeing a lot of things. We make a decision based off of that. And then we don't realize, oh my God, I didn't see that. And now, right? Anyway, sorry. We're moving on. and finding balance and accepting and, making new connections, firming up our foundations. It's pretty straightforward. So December, chill for a bit. Love yourself, commit to the path that you forged, keep going, cleaning up where you need to clean up, taking inspired action, right? And what else are they saying? It could be a time to lay low. It really could be. It could be a time to lay low. I also feel that Spirit is not going to allow you to not lay low. If you are required to lay low for your health and well-being, they're going to make sure that you lay low. Double L, lay low. It's also a time for you to enjoy the holidays, right? If that's your thing. but it feels kind of like a quiet holiday, sort of. Clarity coming in. With time comes clarity sometimes. Clarity comes with time because it allows us the joy, finally, of having revelation, of being able to see how the chips actually fall. Because right now it's too soon to see how the chips are falling, right? It's too soon to take stock of everything. Like, we've just planted seeds. And so when we move forward, we get the ability to let things go. We get the ability to sleep on things. We get the ability to have people introduce different perspectives to us and all sorts of stuff. And so later on, we just do what we can. And I'm seeing April being a time, some months from now, April, what is that, 5 months? Being a time when things make sense, when it's like, oh, okay, okay, whatever that is for you. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end this here. Remember that your takeaway is to give yourself a break. Love yourself. This is not the time to be downing yourself. It's a time to recommit, opening your heart, moving forward as you glean, things, as you glean lessons, just incorporate it as soon as possible and move forward. Believe and succeed, because this is also a time of manifestation, and Spirit is here to help. The only way you can block this spiritual assistance is if you block it yourself by low self-worth, paucity, poverty consciousness, things like that. Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna cut it off here. If you'd like to have a personal reading with me or an energy healing session with me, you know exactly where to find me. In the meantime, God bless you, and I wish you all the best. Mwah. Have a happy December, and stay tuned for other videos that we have coming out. Okay, bye.